Hello, my name is Ana Rodriguez and I belong to the development department of Ammonit. I would like to present the new logic controller. The logic controller is a new software available both for Meteo-40 Plus and Meteo-42. It is a replacement of the switch manager with a higher flexibility. For new users, some rule templates are available at the user interface. Any existing configuration of the switch manager is automatically migrated during the upgrade without any change in the operation. With the logic controller, Ammonit data loggers have moved up from measurement devices to measurement and control systems. A wide range of applications is covered, from controlling sensors heating by toggling the switch to sending alarms when detecting, for example, freezing risk, RS-45 communication problems, or low power supply. Let's compare the logic controller with its predecessor, the switch manager. First of all, the switch manager could only support one rule. The logic controller has until 10 rules available. Regarding the conditions, the switch manager only had one level of logical nesting. The logic controller has two levels of logical nesting. The switch manager used the average statistic of the measurements. The logic controller has all statistics available. The switch manager could only combine one temperature value, one humidity value, one wind speed, and one voltage. The logic controller supports any combination of all available evaluations and internals. For the switch manager, the required duration of the conditions was equal to the statistics interval. At the logic controller, the duration is configurable and independent from the statistics interval. Regarding the actions, the switch manager could only toggle one switch. The logic controller can not only control all of the switches, it can also send alarms as an email, live data notification, or short message. Any change in the state of the rules can be logged in the logbook. At the switch manager, the runtime of the action was equal to the statistics interval. At the logic controller, the action runtime is configurable and independent. With the switch manager, the kegs must remain permanently on, or the managed switch would be turned off. With the logic controller, you can select to keep the switch on even if the kegs shuts down. This diagram shows one logic controller rule. It is composed of one or more conditions and one or more actions which are executed if the conditions are satisfied. Up to 10 rules are available at the logic controller. In this simple example, if the minimum internal voltage of the data logger remains under 12 volts for at least 1 minute, the data logger will send an email and a live data message notifying that the rule supply warning has been satisfied. It will also be logged in the logbook. This second example is the replacement for a typical switch manager configuration. If all 4 conditions are satisfied, the switch 2 is turned on. In this case, also an email and logbook actions are active. There are some other features which were not available at the switch manager. First of all, not only average statistic, but also maximum and minimum statistics are used in the conditions. The configured switch will remain on during 1 hour. And the option turn switch off on keg shutdown is not set, which means that the keg doesn't need to be permanently on. In this more complex example, we have 2 groups of conditions, joined by an OR logic operator. If either the upper group or the lower group is satisfied, an alarm is sent by all the configured methods. As you can see, the standard deviation of the wind speed is available, which is very important for ice detection. This is the logic controller overview menu. Some configuration options and the current state of the rules are shown here. You can activate and deactivate previously configured rules from this menu. You can also activate and deactivate the actions for each rule. To configure the conditions, you must press the Configure button next to the corresponding rule. The logic controller configuration is part of the general configuration file of the data logger. You can download the configuration and upload it in a different device. In the switches menu, the switches associated to a rule are identified by the rule label. The option Turn Switch Off on KEX Shutdown can be configured here as well as from the rule configuration menu. The data logger logbook contains relevant events of the data logger, like the logging of a user, an update, or the execution of an action. The logbook is automatically sent to a monitor and per email with the default configuration. If the logbook action is selected for a rule, any change on the state of the rule, create an entry in the logbook. I have highlighted here the entries related to the logic controller. The state of the rules is evaluated every time the configured statistic interval is elapsed. That is why the statistics interval must be shorter than the required condition duration. This interval is shared with live data and SCADA software components. By pressing the Select the Statistics button in this menu, you can access the Statistics selection menu. In the Statistics selection menu, you can decide which statistics are available for the logic controller. Each of the selected statistics generates a new column in the Measurements Statistics CSV files. I'm now going to show you some general configuration menus which are also shared by the logic controller. To use the live data action, you must select a live data server and at least one subscriber. You can, for example, use Ammonit's provided live data server and create an account in Ammonit Live Dashboard. If you choose to use Ammonit Live Dashboard, it is also recommended to activate the option Publish Live Data to Server in order to visualize current measurement data at Live Data Dashboard. Ammonit Live Dashboard is available at the browser and as a smartphone application. You can receive rules state changes notifications and visualize current measurement data. To get logic controller notifications as a short message, you must activate the service and configure the required settings. If the email action is selected for a logic controller rule, the general email configuration will be used to send the alarm messages. Thank you.